We'll see.
We'll see. That's the name of the game. Pistol round is live. All armor for Complexity except for J2, who's got Flash Kit. Smoke Flash on Hunter is the only pieces of utility for G2. Ooh. And we start out slow, but G2's coming up mid, and there's 4 players here. Oh, and Alicia's got a quick one. That's a nice haircut for Modesty. Flash Peek doesn't work. Nico shuts down Floppy, and the engagement continues.
They've seen everybody. They have seen everybody from Complexity, and they were on the verge of deciding to fight towards middle and change their own opinion. Now it's going to be Halzerk alone on the B side. He's only got a Flash to work with, so he's playing that little bit of a sneaky angle, which, by the way, is a very cool way to grab information while being safe. I highly recommend on that one. And Complexity haven't even moved the defense. They've decided to stay 3 on the A side. They trust the Zerg.
Well, the question is, how much does their nerve get shaken? Because you imagine Hunter with his smoke flash is going to throw out a little bit of a fake. Smoke towards CT, flashbang into the sky. We'll see if Halzerk stays in this position or if he calls anyone over. Defense already starting to shift right now. Alish pushing down middle, same with JT. And Grim is rotating off, and this little piece of utility is going to seal it, is going to sell the fake entirely.
Giga Brain.
They got him. Psych!
Wow. Nice and easy. Plant goes down right now. This kill won't matter. And Complexity have a long way to rotate back.
Well, you did get ahead of yourself, Jason, or was it Harry on Anubis in that 4v2 post-plan? So now it's a 3v4.
I think it was all of us who got ahead of ourselves in that. But look, the idea they'll find everyone in the amount of time left. Nico waiting over in Boiler. P250, that's the kit. And Alicia's gone. Round should be over from here. It should be done. No real chance of defusing this, and JKS puts the exclamation mark on the end of the sentence, and that's a 1-0 start for G2.
Save the Kevlar, go back home, have a cold one, relax a little bit. That was a great call from G2, but you'd have to say it's a little bit fortunate as well. At the very same time that they execute this little bit of a fake, you have that intention to retake information towards middle. They take the risk of giving up towards Holt, and that's exactly where G2 goes with the bomb.
Yeah,
they were bamboozled.
A different timing, and you might have spotted someone going in towards Halls, right?
Definitely.
Like, so little tough, but a nice fake from G2. Good way to get out of that. Second round bye for Complexity. Alish has the auto shotty.
Opinion on that?
He loves it. He had this, honest to God, when the Krieg situation happened back in the day and started getting discovered, I remember speaking with Alish at an event while they were setting up, and he got really excited about how good the Krieg was. And he had that same face when I asked him about the shotgun, because he loves the XM.
Oh, I wouldn't say it had the same impact then.
No, it's not going to have the same impact on the game that the Krieg had at the time.
Fair enough.
I mean, he's still excited about the fact that, you know, it's something that's very powerful to use, and he has a good time with it.
Not a whole lot of util to play with for Complexity. That's basically the last smoke. They've just used their last smoke, and now it's just a flash.
It's interesting to see they went for weaponry over utility, you know, the 2 FAMASes. So it's really down to winning some of those fights.
Normally, like, CTs in this are trying to stall you out with smoke, stall you out with flashbangs and utility. Not available to them here in this round. And the stack and the aggressive point of the defense is over in Halls, where there will be no presence. Mid-utility. Hooksy's going to investigate with a MAC-10. All of his teammates lining up outside the B bomb site. He's at least going to call this clear, so they might still come back.
Do they call them back? Does he call them back? That's the issue that I have. He thinks he's cleared the entire site right there. He's completely oblivious to the 3. He's going to see 1, but he doesn't know if there's more. No. So here comes the T. They're not exactly sure what to do, and they keep on going, allowing Floppy to find the one. That's a 5 versus 3 out of nowhere. 33 seconds to play with.
And the shotgun is still in play. Floppy going to drop in towards Pit. There's a crossfire now with Halzerk inside the site. Floppy needs to be a little bit of a distraction while staying alive, and he's just done it. Here's the shotgun. A little messy. It could have been cleaner, but Floppy's got the dig in Pit, and G2 lose another second round. Thoughts, questions,
I think I used my psych too fast. Yeah. I did it in the first round, but this actually was a psych moment.
This was the psych in return.
That was it. That was the counter psych.
Yeah.
The counter boozle.
I think that was a little bit naive from presumably Hooksy, you know, to call the team back, because with his path as well, I mean, what would be the read that they were 3B and maybe, you know, stacking apps or something, but they have to be apps, and by the time, you know, they need to come back from B, you sort of lose the timing maybe at that point. I mean, it's a tough situation. Only other thing would be for him to try to like go library and go B with the team, but
or wait until he actually has cleared lane to call for that rotation. If he kills, but they all execute onto the B side, maybe there's something to be done. But when they decided to come back, it was already very much uncomfortable. And Floppy's peak with the deagle, really put a
well, that one
spin on
extra
that
kill.
one.
If he peeks that, doesn't get the kill, it's still like a little bit in the realm of possibility. But that one was painful. 1-1.
yeah, it was a good one in the pistol round. Not such a good one in the. I liked though what happened up until that point, because they threw the wrap smokes for A, which would ideally draw one of the B players towards CT2, and then you go B with 4 players. But
yeah, it started to be honest. I mean, we saw it on the minimap, him pulling out, but obviously like the kill that comes in. I'm actually kind of surprised G2 didn't turn back after Hooksy went down.
They must have imagined that Holzer was alone, or a 2-man setup at the very best, that they could have traded full investment back into this round.
Nico has a Glock. I think him and Hooksy are gonna swap real soon.
But he doesn't have an armor. He might not have anything. The deagle, right? Yeah. That's the best he would get.
Well, I'm assuming he dropped the AK-47 with the kills that he got, so taking one for the team is Nico. Tough defense to go up again. Elige up in Rop's position. Blinded and drops down. Falls away. A second flashbang burns his eyeballs. They want to attack Rap, and for the moment that's going to be stalled out by Molotov, and then a smoke. Now they readjust to lane.
Good smoke from Floppy. It allows him to stay alive and withstand that pressure for the moment. Monacy hasn't been activated quite yet, and as I said, he falls. That was the AK. The greatest investment from G2 in this round, now in the hands of Hunter. JT has condemned himself behind that smoke. He could be the next victim in the next few seconds if JKS decides to do so, but they all actually go back towards lane and rely on Hunter's kills.
Yeah, let's see what he can provide them. He's just like a very, very narrow sliver away from being able to see Floppy, who's at low HP, but he's got a lot to clear. Elbow shows from Elige, looks for the follow-up peek, had the right read, can't convert, and Floppy with low health adds 2 more on top. Quad kill in the round from the Flopster, and it's 2-1.
The Flopster.
The Flopster.
Flopster Thermidor.
Yeah.
There we go. I'll get that one rolling.
Yeah.
Nice little protocols as well from Complexity to react with the smokes. That right here really allowed him to play on the side of it, off top of it.
Gives him that second option, right, to go up the stairs and swing behind it after the initial fight. There's that create from Graveyard. And
no one was in apps to punish him. That would have been the only real risk, but unfortunately for G2, they didn't have a man in place there.
Oof. Nice catch.
These are probably the worst rounds in Counter-Strike.
Full Glock rounds?
You can play like a Glock Eco.
We don't see it much anymore. They've gone out of style, but obviously G2 no other options really at this stage.
I mean, we had VP in this group.
This is where James would pull off some voodoo shit and like somehow have an AK for one guy and 3 P250s and a Bison.
But not this time around. Let's see. As a team, what can you do in these Glock rounds? Maybe you can do like breathing exercise. Just relax a little bit for a few seconds. I'm trying to think how to optimize. Or just give your life away to Grim.
He'll take those. He'll take them. Did you see the stat, Matchy, that was tweeted out? Your question was answered.
About what then?
Grim and
whether
the
or not
map,
Grim had that crazy comeback?
Yeah, he did.
I did not see. I was busy hosting the next segment. You were on your phone during that segment?
No, it was after the segment I saw. Grim was 1-8 until round 10.
Well, you were on the money.
And then he went 26-3 from round 11 to 24.
That's my point. That is insane. That's mind-blowing.
Crazy
That's wild.
Grimathy.
All right, first gun round for, well, maybe not the first, but back into the gun rounds for G2, let's say.
Still big Leals.
Deep smoke in mid, Molotov as well. Okay, that's a nerdy smoke. He's a little bit off, but I like the idea. Or nerdy nade, I should say.
Also CSGO, if there's a millimeter of a ledge of a wall, your grenade basically disappears.
Yeah.
Falls into a black hole.
It doesn't exist anymore.
Let's see if Complexity here wants to try to clear B at some point, or is this a little bit of a bait setup, you know, play it passive, so G2 has the read, it's only 2 guys saving their nades, bait them into coming B.
Good grenade, that's gonna do a ton of damage. There you got it. 70 on the dot, and this is great information being gathered by Nico. Usually that little bit of a setup allows you to take car control, but Nico being boosted, they know that no one has taken. So this tells me that G2 is going to go and finish B anyway.
Well, Nico's going to dry challenge early. He wants a duel. He wants a fight, and Complexity's not giving it to him. Smoke goes down at 36 seconds.
Yeah, that's the B finish.
They've got a Molotov still on JT at this B bomb site as well. So when this execute comes in, he's going to drop that bad boy, and we'll see what G2 can do to handle it, because they're about to deploy both smokes. They might have to run through the flames with only 18 seconds on the clock.
Here comes Nico across the smoke, and now CT spawn put down immediately. JT's doing a stellar job with the silencer. Nice try. Come back later.
That is spicy. Nicely done from JT, passing through the smoke and grabbing a triple kill. That Molotov was perfectly disjointing that hit.
I mean, you do feel really good about yourself when you're only at 19 seconds when the hit comes.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, you are full of confidence when that Molotov goes down. A little flashbang as well from Halzerk. Look at John getting hyped up.
I think also they had great information on long. G2 threw the B split smoke. Complexity players boosted over it, saw that there was no one on the lurk, and that's why you saw two guys in, I think it was Nico's face coming from CT, and why JT is able to go for that aggressive play. Complexity basically had 4 guys ready for that push.
JT playing a little dangerous game with that headshot angle with the Deagle. Another deep nade coming in, another shallow something coming in. There's the Molotov afterwards, and another kill for Elige.
They want to fight.
Yeah.
Complexity want to fight.
Yeah, I like it. Well, they better be confident after this point with the run they've had, and obviously the map won against G2. They probably believe at this point that they're just the hands down better team at the moment in this series.
Are you starting to believe, Jason? Is the 2-0 making its way through your mind, your fantasy right now? Are you not allowing yourself to even envision it?
I know. I was excited for Ancient, but look, if we don't need it, I'm cool with that as well. Like, I'm fine. Let's end it here.
You are?
Yeah. I'd be okay with it.
Hooksy told us last night that he actually has a lot of respect for Complexity, that he thinks that they're playing much, much better. They had some, I think, losses to them in practice as well.
Yeah, he was mentioning they battered him for a while in practice. They'd been shutting down Complexity time in, time out, and then all of a sudden, like just recently, Complexity's been able to kind of overcome him. So, yeah, he had high praise, Hooksy, for the Complexity squad and the changes they've made and how it's translating to wins and officials here at ESL Pro League. And at the moment, he's got to shove that respect into the back of his mind and figure out a way to get through this defense.
Well, speaking of which, Halzerk hasn't played with the AWP quite yet. And we've seen G2 trying to play towards that arch ripe type execute early on in the game. Of course, it cost them the anti-eco. That's when Hooksy pulled out the entire squad to him. But that still is a solution they could have used here. Speaking of Halzerk, he's the one that's actually going to take an immediate risk. But JKS heard him. He heard that. He's ready for the kill. That comes in as easy as it gets. A 5v4 being gifted to G2 and a whole lot of time to play with.
Yeah, that might give G2 the opening they needed to crack this open. They got an entire round, minute
opening
and a half.
Is given.
Yeah, on a 5-on-4 where you've been dominating them otherwise. Let's see what G2 can do with it. Towards Banana we go. 3 players over towards the half wall. Retake flashbang thrown. Nico plays anti-flash and peeks after it to protect his team. And it's only Grim here.
That's mental game. He's trying to bait them into thinking that he flashed for someone, but he's completely alone, and G2 ain't taking that bait.
Smoke's going to go down at a great timing. Great timing. Spam through the coffin, doesn't land.
And Complexity is getting information on mid. Elige and Floppy are clearing it, so we'll see. That's brave.
Yeah.
He misses one more shot.
Ooh. Look at this. What the hell is going on? Deathmatch sessions.
You better go back to B. It's all you've got. Grim's here alone. AUG in hand. It was great on Anubis. It's going to deliver again against Nico and against JKS. AUG coming back in style. Monacy's got no health, and Complexity survive a 4-on-5. No one else has even come close to going down yet. And that's round 6.
What?
Yeah, you like that? JT just straight
That's
up dueling down.
That's a crazy 4v5 to win for Complexity. Not just the round win, but the fashion through which they went there.
I think they got a free op out of it as well. They passed that over to Halzerk. Yeah, I mean, the peak on the left, or the peak on the right from G2's perspective from Elige wasn't expected, and neither was the one from JT.
And hinged on a couple of details as well. You mentioned the smoke being put down by Grim on the B side. A second later, and G2 would have been completely enticed to pull through. It wasn't the case here. Halzerk is trying to be a little bit aggressive, but poked back into submission.
No, but I like it to a certain extent. You mentioned Complexity wants to fight, and like being in your face, peeking down middle, just showing G2. We'll challenge every step you take, every move you make.
They'll be watching you. So watching the Deagle, but not able to convert. That's the first kill from Hooksy. We'll see if he used the velocity of the Tech 9, but Grim is there with the AUG. It's been his weapon of predilection for a little bit. The barbecue is on the menu.
They'll be fine with that as well. Like,
out.
yeah, well, use
Somehow.
that. Use that smoke on the molly. Now you don't have it for the execute late round, and you got no HP. Floppy up on the balcony, dodging utility. G2's been slowed, so Floppy takes one. Halzerk spots the Halls, misses the shot. One's coming up lane as well. But Floppy's handling everything. Down to 14 HP, but still kicking. And JKS is left alone in Halls. He's got to readdress and find a new position of attack.
Look, we're not going to try and pretend like this is the most important game ever in the calendar of CSGO. That's not the case. We do realize and we acknowledge the fact that this is more of a seeding game. Whether or not you go to quarterfinal or round of 12, that's a thing. But I have to say, the G2 we're seeing here is definitely not a G2 that's well-oiled. Like this, here, there was a tempo, there was a timing. They could have taken it in that lane to Abs Explode as well. But it's when you're losing 1-5, 1-6, 1-7, you're starting to second-guess yourself just a little bit. Floppy could have been at risk, but at the end of the day, the rotation from B is already here. Halzerk is in position. He can do that because he's got a CT with him. These timings are kind of slipping away from G2's fingers, and they're going to need a couple of rounds, I think, to resync, because Complexity is actually the one calling the shots.
It kind of scares me a little bit always whenever I see a game like this out of G2, because it goes back to my mindset of like, I feel like we still haven't gotten like that consistent G2 across a year, and every time they will like win a Cologne, win a Katowice, I'm like, okay, maybe now they get it. Maybe now it's going to click.
Well, they addressed it in a couple of interviews, and that's why we were discussing it at the couch as well. It's the idea that, hey, do you have it in yourself to give that extra 10% all the time, or do you rely on external conditions? Do you rely on being at a prestigious event to get the best out of yourself? Because everyone's going to be happy to win Katowice and Cologne, but you have to have that kind of level all year long, and it's not the case quite yet.
Yeah, this time I've really started to believe, though, after Cologne. I've really started to think it was going to be locked in. That's a nice brute force kill in Banana. Hunter's brought down to 4 HP. Double Balk. Halzerk alone with the op. At front library, looking towards Rap side, he's going to get a chance. They'll bait the low HP player. He's got that. Looking for a flashbang. It comes in a little bit late. One more. JKS blind grabs the kill. Floppy up on Balk. It's another. A dink. But JKS returns one with the AK. Bomb is dropped, and with the Molotov in his face, that's going to give time for JT to arrive. Timing of this battle is everything. If JKS goes down, he won't. He was ready. Instant headshot, and G2 needed it.
You hear it?
I hear the roar.
You hear that reaction?
Yeah.
This round meant a lot to them. They also were checkmate, tactically speaking. You had 3 defenders on that A side as the hit comes through, and as Yenko reacted to it, a couple of shots from JKS as well is just round defining. That could have gone horribly wrong. That right there.
Well sick.
That was spicy. What a round to deliver for
He was
JKS.
an entry all along.
Yeah.
Who knew?
He's back.
Well, they picked up the pace a little bit, G2, in the last round towards B. Now we see a lot of them going second mid, so this is looking like a fast A hit. Yeah, this is their bread and butter.
Okay, they were just looking for one victory to set this up, and now let's see what they've got. Halzerk, Molotov is down. They're already beat it. They've already got the headshot. Hunter with an entry, and it's Floppy. Can he step up again? No. Round done. Bread and butter, you called it, and it's delivered.
And I love this strat. I mean, this was, I guess, Mouse pulled it out. I mean, it was always like a thing, but he kept changing in and out, you know, with the fast smokes from second mid. Because you see, what G2 did, this is the most simple of conditioning. The last gun round was the first one G2 wins. They win it by going for a fast banana take. So in Complexity started 3B. Now they start 3B again, probably want to change something. G2 hits them with the fast A split. They're 5v2. They even get the entry on Halzerk. I mean, they get both entries, and that's it. Complexity has to save. So I always love this strat. Every team should have this strat in their playbook on Inferno. Why? Because if you're doing it, it will make the CTs second guess themselves to start 3B. 3B is like the norm. You will absolutely see teams more often start 3B 2A than
than
anything else, right? And it's just a numbers game, you know, in a 5v2 on the site with so many pathways, and you can't cover everything. So even if you smoke caps and play 2-pit, let's say, that's probably one of the better versions of how you can hold. But
I mean, even if you do that, you can see the wall of smoke set up as Hooksy turns into the bomb site. You're not going to stop the hit. You're just going to be in position to deal with it at some point.
Yeah, that's that third smoke between Graveyard and the default plant.
Yeah. Well,
obscure vision.
2 in a row now for G2. Let's see what they can get. They've got a lot of money still to burn through. Elige has 7,300, JT at 4,300. Complexity's built up some cash. Nice nade, doing chip damage onto Modesty.
They're going to fight for that car position. Nico extinguishes. The Molotov gives him the possibility to go through it.
So let's see, the last time after this set of utility, Complexity just kept playing passive. Do they do the same thing, or do they do something different this time around?
Also a little bit of a change. When G2 had access to that car position earlier on, they tried to play towards the B side. This time they've pulled towards A. It's been relatively well read by Complexity. Elige is still in position. He didn't rotate back to B in spite of the pressure. This should be a guaranteed kill from Holzerk if JK is not careful. 5v4 very easily, and from that point on, do you change your mind? Do you reel back to the B side? It seems like it's what G2's got on the menu.
Yeah, Elige just wasted a Molotov as well into his teammate's smoke at the mid choke point, so he won't have that when he shifts over.
40 seconds.
They might like it for a retake. Smoke just deployed now. Great timing on that from the B defense. They've held their nerve very well with utility, and JT still has a Molotov to use again. We saw that was a disaster last time when G2 waited out this smoke. It looks like it's going to happen again. Attacking utility deployed. There's the defensive Molotov from JT. About 15 seconds when that clears. Oh, this has to be so perfect. And there's a third player here in Elige, ready to come through the smoke. A little bit of resistance needs to be mounted. Oh, and they missed the opportunity. They missed everything, Complexity. Can they stop the plant? Spam is in. Oh, it's way too high. It's off the mark. And that should be around for G2.
And you don't like to see it, but this round is a reminder that in Counter-Strike, you might have all the pieces in the right place. You might have completely read your opponent. You might have done everything correctly to the last detail, but if you miss your shots, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It literally doesn't matter.
That's a hard one to deal with. Yeah, because that's exactly what Complexity's thinking is actually we played this round just about perfectly.
Close to perfection.
We had everything we needed. We had all the utility to stop it and delay it, and we missed 2 kills. We didn't delay them long enough.
And one thing that was a little bit different compared to that previous gun round that was similar but Complexity ended up winning is that G2 baited out the utility way faster. You see that the retake nades came in at 130 mark. Last time around it was at the 110 mark. And those extra 20 seconds is what allows G2 to wait out some of the utility and to be able to trade the kills. And this is why I think it's crucial. Elige, that player on the rotate, you need to have it, let's say, one flash in CT when you have this much money. Because him, with that flash, he can do more with flashing well for the 2 guys in B than he can with running through the smoke. If he had that flash, I think that could have been deadly.
Vastly different. However, G2 now fighting themselves back into this half. The lead is cut to 3. And that aggression in Banana is still there. That confidence in the Banana play from G2's attack is still there. And Nico's already cleared it out.
Eventually it's going to pay off. That timing is going to pay off. Nico has been able to thread the needle 3 times now. And Grim is alone. He hasn't used his smoke quite yet. I don't know if he's got a stash behind him, but if he does so, he's going to have to pull some rotation towards him. Does he have another smoke on the floor?
We would see it, I think, on the radar.
We'd see on the radar. So he's actually elected to stay alone on the B side without a smoke. And he hasn't called for any rotation, so he's taking all the risks.
Yeah, this might be one of those rounds Complexity's kind of gambling that G2 is going to end at the A bomb site, but how wrong are they? Grim can't defend this on his own. The Molotov's not going to save him. Nico gets in a position at tree, and JT better be focused.
He doesn't know.
He better clear this, but it doesn't look likely, and Grim's gone down, so JT should back away. This round's over. It's definitely over now.
And I wouldn't be surprised if this was a Nico call on the fly. I think from spending time with him in FaZe, he has such great instincts for what these B players are doing, whether they're just trying to save nades, right? Whether they're playing retake or if there's a stack there. And I'm not sure how he does it, because from the outside it might look the same, but just all the experience that he has and taking advantage of that, you know, complexity, really going for the gamble that with banana control this time G2 will try to end the round on A.
Yeah, this G2 that we've got in these past 3-4 rounds has been scary, has been efficiently ruthless, and now they're hunting down all the weapons. They're going to find a Liege. Floppy survives for a moment, and Hulzerk's not even going to budge with his AWP.
And now it gets interesting, because now you have to think that complexity is going to try to deny banana control for G2, right? So does Hooksy just call the same A strat again? Or is it just maybe a faster mid-take? Maybe something like that. Doesn't have to be a full execute on A.
The only thing I dislike about what complexity is, listen, it is a gamble in itself. It's a decision that they've made to leave Grim alone on the B side without a smoke that's additional to it. It is a gamble. You've been called out by G2. They execute onto the B side. When it's like that, I would rather have them reorganize a retake, or maybe just ponder the possibility of saving. I know it's not the funkiest thing, but when you see Grim trying to fight that timing, crossing the smoke, you're already a good second or two behind the execute. Like, there is no coming back. You've been beaten to the timing. You've put down the molly as the flashes were flying above you. That's it. The side has fallen. I don't think you're retaking it without strong utility with you. So they're trying to do both things. They try to win in both ways. I'm gonna play alone, but also I'm gonna fight the execute that is happening. You have to choose. And I think here he tried to do both things, and this is why G2 were allowed that easy way in.
Well, money's starting to run low for complexity. Finally, G2's been doing this the hard way against full buys each and every round. Nico putting out the Molotov towards logs. Deep utility spent, but this time they're not going to get fully aggressive towards Car. He might have thought the same thing that you did, Yanko, that, or Maniac, whichever one of you said they might fight in Banana for that control. This time G2 stays away, and it's going to be a Hulz pop.
It's a strong setup against it, though.
Oh, not if you get blind. Traded. But they'll never expect a Liege, and Hulzerk pops out as well. And that strong setup worked magnificently. Bomb is dropped halfway up lane, and G2 gets stopped cold.
When Floppy finds that first kill, life becomes incredibly comfortable for Elige, who strikes exactly when he needs to. Nico flashed out of Pip. Elige is too strong on his legs on that one. And m0NESY was having a little bit of a quiet first half. We gotta say, he's gonna try to warm himself up a little bit.
Yeah, get yourself a headshot,
just to get into the zone,
just to wake up. It's like a little shot of espresso.
Every kill that gets you improves the probability of getting the next one. That's I'm sure there's some math to it. I'm gonna have to run the numbers.
Hulzerk missed shot. m0NESY will have the opportunity. Awkward jump. He's down very low. And Elige does fall, so there's something for m0NESY. Couple more coming from behind if he can read it. 1 or 2 more kills wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And into the bomb site we go. Complexity's going to play it passively, creeping around now. Time is ticking for m0NESY on how long he can actually survive. And there's Grim from behind. 8th round for Complexity. They stop the G2 run at 4.
And this is the mind games coming into play, right? The Complexity pretty much knows that, okay, they expect us to fight for Banana, and maybe we know that this is how Hooksy likes to call or how G2 likes to play, so we can't fall into that trap. We have to just pretend maybe that we're doing it and still play for the A side, and that's just the perfect double setup. And you can't blame G2 for making that call, right? For MPOV, it makes great sense. And finally, m0NESY with an entry kill.
Yeah, beats the timing of that deep Molotov, and Elige just goes down without a whimper. Hooksy gonna step up.
God.
He's brought so low by utility, but he's got a blind JT. Trust in the flashbangs. Your teammates are throwing. He does go down, but they know the positioning of the op.
That should be the signal. This should be the signal.
They're not in a position to punish it though, right?
I mean, Hunter could have been a little bit more generous and ambitious with that long. Now he's given time for Hulzer to come back in, and he's gonna fall into his lap. Oh, that's a quick headshot from Hunter, leaving Floppy on an island. He's been great in the first map. In fact, he's been great at this event. But now he's really and completely alone.
Hunter could have been faster. Hulzer could have been a little bit less naive on thinking that was going to be completely clear that nobody would take the space. He wasn't ready for that fight. Floppy's alone. He has to turn and look towards Rap side. Doesn't know how far they've progressed, and he's a freebie. And a 6th round for G2 as it's looking like this half is going to end neck and neck.
And this
Yeah,
was-
once Halzer's AWP is known on the B side, it basically becomes a game of who from Hunter and JKS is going to be able to take that map control. Because mathematically, it's very unlikely both of them have an opponent in front of them. So when Hunter gets punished by Halzer, JKS knows he can grab just a little bit more towards Boiler. It's only Floppy who's left. That was a great opening from Hooksy.
Yeah, trusting the utility, right? Trusting the support. He took a little bit more damage than he wanted to from the incendiary, but this was a tough half for G2 because of losing that second round and how clean the early gun rounds were for Complexity.
Yeah.
It was 4 gun rounds in a row that G2 won. This is the 5th, and if they win the final round, it's also going to be a gun round for Complexity.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, you're even if you're Grim, you're dropping the op over to Halzerk more than likely. Halzerk can drop an M4 over to Elige, and you've got another full buy for Complexity. So their money hasn't been an issue. You're exactly right. This has been a grinding, difficult half for G2. So really impressive. They've been able to get 6 on the board.
and Grim upgrades to an AWP of his own, double op setup and a half.
I didn't expect that. That wasn't.
Is he known to be an opper, Jason?
I don't know if I've ever seen it. Well, Elige's been double opping as well throughout this this group stage.
Well, here's your answer.
Yeah, well, look.
We'll circle back to it.
You can be a serviceable opper, but when you go up against m0NESY, he's going to make a lot of players look silly.
Now the speed, pace being picked up by G2. It's m0NESY who else leading the charge with the AWP. Quick boost for JT, but G2 brings to a halt. m0NESY opens up with an op. I am not exactly sure I abide to that.
Not a big fan?
I don't think that's the best way to do it. Look, we've just gone from a 5v4 to now a 4v3. JT's being flashed in, but Nico covers it pretty successfully.
Bomb taking a long time to go down. They're being harassed. Elise is shifting over. Now they've got utility. They've got 3 smokes. They can park those in a number of places. HE grenade as well to clear out one of the corners. JKS is the only one really susceptible to going down to it, playing at second oranges. Support flash to activate Floppy and Halzerk. And here's the swing. JKS goes down. It's Nico. It's Hooksy. And Hooksy has the first. Halzerk is low. Nico's got that. All of a sudden, just a lesion. He can't react in time. G2, a stellar half, all things considered. They claw to 7 rounds playing Complexity's 8. Second half coming right up.
He's got a chance in this one. Makes it look too clean. remain supreme.
Second map, second half of Inferno. G2 7 playing Complexities 8. G2's trying to force us onto Ancient, the third and deciding map in this series. We're about to find out if they can get us there. I'm joined by Maniac. I'm joined by YNK.
We'll see, Jason. Anything is possible. G2, their T-sides, they're known to get more than 7 on a regular basis, but considering how the half started, I think they can be happy with this.
Yeah, it was a really good recovery. If you start that half out slow and you just got battered on Anubis and confidence at an all-time low, the way they fought back in those gun rounds to bring this to a close scoreline has got to fire you right back up. We've been hearing them get loud on the other side of the studio.
That's
as well.
true.
Yeah.
There's a whole lot of emotions and intensity out there. We always appreciate it. G2 now with the triple setup towards Banana. Things are about to get real ugly for Complexity. That pop flash is ready to roar. We have m0NESY and Nico, 3 guns at the ready. Here comes m0NESY with the flash for just 1, and immediately Nico is being put down. Floppy, great work, but they know there has been a flash. Hooksy's name is in the feed, but they don't care, or do they now?
You got to go through this. You have to. All your utilities down. Hooksy can't land the shot, and it is overrun. B is overrun. It is swarmed. Hunter finds one on the flank, so there's a little bit of life left in this. 2-on-3 retake. No kits on any of the players, and JKS brought low and eventually dispatched.
What?
Hunter's position found. This becomes very unlikely, even with a quick kill on Holzer coming back. Knows the position of Elige, but not of JT, although seems to be aware of the Coffin's position. And he will get taken down as he steps into the bomb site. It's 9-7 for Complexity.
Woo! I had a doubt for half a second here when Holzer's little bit of a problematic duel with Hunter, but that was all right. The numbers were fine here. A little bit unfortunate for m0NESY. He gets pop flashed in, but found immediately as he rounds around the corner.
Yeah, I mean, Grim knows he's in trouble when that flashbang pops, and he's just spamming mouse 1.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, a little bit lucky, but we'll take it. We'll give it to him. 9-7. Force buy for G2 on the CT side. Scout is going to peek down mid, go for some early damage. Once a tag, not going to get it. Trying to cover a little bit of a delayed mid push, and it's working.
Ooh, this is dangerous.
Oh, that's a huge kill. JT's isolated in Banana as well. He can't move out from this logs position. He's trying to help in any way he can. Oh, but they're getting shut down. Look at G2 suffocating. And they've returned the favor. Lose the pistol, win the second.
That's what you call a gut punch.
That's grimy.
That's very grimy.
Really cool, a cool concept from them, you know, to have the double SMGs roll down while m0NESY is scouting the deep angle.
I wonder if m0NESY scout is the reason why that wide swing from River was delayed. Because they had to respect that scout. They didn't want to take tag because it took a minute for Complexity to even just check that bench position. And once they did, you could see, you could even hear Elige's communication was really intense because he realized they're right in there. But it's already too late. Nobody has time to react when that information is found.
He was playing head down to avoid the scout. And as soon as he popped it up, he realized what was coming at him, that none of his teammates had spotted him. And by then, it was just too late. That's a really well-executed round from G2. Super cool. Complexity force right back into it. Tech9s and Deagles. Floppy and Elige towards Hulz. Hulzerk is going to join up with them. JT in middle for Hulz pop utility. And it's a double lane setup. So there's some legs to this. This is a possibility for sure.
It's all on to JKS, and we'll have to see if the flashes do the trick. Hunter's being flashed out of position. Holding nice and easy. A little bit of a dink. Means he has to play a little bit more passive. JKS hasn't been spotted. He's still up there in his bird's nest with the AK-47. Now it's just a tap-tap game, but he's not able to connect. Holzer makes 2 with the Deagle, actually.
And Hunter comes around. Elige finds that. Oh, what a drive-by. JT in the sight. I almost think Hooksy, time to bail out. That SMG ain't going to do anything at that range.
What is it you call tit for tat?
Yeah.
That's what Complexity just did here?
Yeah, back and forth, baby. And that's, you know, if the second round was a gut punch for Complexity, this is stubbing your toe. This is stepping on a Lego in the
emotional
dark.
nutsack.
Yeah, in a way. The stomach ache is creeping in.
And Nico ain't going anywhere.
Woo! What can you say about that one?
So I'm just a little bit puzzled.
Let me see those Hulzerk shots, first of all.
Yeah, I don't know how he got the first one. The second was pretty clear. We were on JKS's POV, who struggled just a little bit to adjust. Let's have a look. Whoa, okay, that's mean. Oh, the first one is real mean.
That's you got to give him credit. That's a shot and a half from Halzerk. Old mate Halsey.
Thoughts on the double lane and long setup in anti-pistol round? Certainly your bite too, Yanko?
Yeah, I think it's a bit... I don't want to call it strange because obviously abs pop is an option, but then again, that's not an immediate death sentence. Even if they pop abs, first guy sort of jumps lane, usually in that sort of an execute, so you could get a couple of kills and they can get pit and just play the advantages, but they didn't get any opening kills as the execute was coming in. Hunter, you know, gets dinked even on that long range fight, so a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, pathing for Complexity completely avoided danger of that Hulls pop and made it extremely difficult. Well,
also good utility usage as well. Hunter was a little bit uncomfortable with the flash as he rounded the corner.
Look, we painted the picture that G2 had to fight like a really hard-fought first half against full buys. This, if they can't win this round and return it, their economy is going to be so tough to get under control.
I don't even know how they opened because I think Grim did a good job in Banana on his own to apply pressure, because usually sometimes the third player is also lane and he watches apps from there and then they block caps and buy time, so...
That smoke is going to be money for JKS, putting it down at the 37-second mark. And we see now Complexity having to rediscuss their options. They're still open to a potential B wrap through long. But since we see Grim pulling back, I do believe the A side is going to be the point of juncture here for this attack.
Yeah, but these crossfires with 22 seconds, Hooksy and Nico are going to get here. They're going to run right through the smokes. Any resistance would be begged, would be asked for, and it's not available to them. Nico and Hooksy just have to back away. That could have been dicey, but Complexity handle it well. So 11-8, money is shot for G2. Whew.
I don't think I've ever seen the CTs win around when they have to turtle up in the site like that late, especially with the pistols. You know, JKS drops a good smoke. Then, okay, if you feel like you're being chased out of long, you can just go towards that smoke, sit in it, try to push lane. Monesi was even unaware how close they were long. He just got shot in the side.
Yeah, this is nice trading, nice entries coming into the site. Elise shakes it loose.
It's going to have to be a lot of gun rounds.
Complexity have had all the advantages, and I mean, they're nursing that 3-round lead.
I mean, you got to commend as well how they reacted into this round, right? When they were about to peek towards lane, they see Jake, he drops down the smoke, and then there's no panic.
Poised, yeah.
They stayed calm. They realized, okay, hold on a second. That means we can send the main share of our group of attack, our resources towards long. We keep one guy towards lane. He's ready to pounce in when we arrive. And this is pretty much organized on the fly. I know they have protocols, contingency plans. They know how to go through these, but still, we've seen teams trip into that proverbial work. So not this case this time around. Now G2 will probably attempt to do a little bit of damage. There's an MP9 on Hooksy. There's a Deagle out there, Nico with the Kevlar as well. And a little bit of a pesky USB. That's already some work done for Monesi.
Yeah, Nico coming in next, but Floppy's ready. Floppy's ready. That's so immediate.
The flop.
Yeah, and the B defense goes down next. It's just Hunter left to investigate. Look how patient Complexity's being.
To find the bomb here.
Yeah, well, he's about to find Halzerk.
Knife?
Well, Hunter doesn't strike me as the knifing.
No, but just money-wise. I wasn't even talking about being BM. It's just you're in a full eco. You have the possibility. What is it? 1,500?
Yeah,
a knife?
1,500 for a knife.
That's pretty decent chunk in cash. Just so you can throw that AWP to Monesi.
Yeah.
Which nobody can buy currently.
It's also a problem. I mean, their buy they're at 4,400. You can see 47, 46 on some players, depending on the frags which they got. So Nico just has a smoke and a nade. No incendiary for that banana fight. Hooksy probably is going to have to make the sacrifice by an MP9 and by all utility, a kit as well. This is going to be a tough round for G2 to win just out of freeze time.
And it's already set up a tough half because it's not just this round. There's 7,000 on Grim, there's 6,300 on JT. The rest of them can have another buy after this loss if there's a plant that helps even more for Complexity. So G2 is going to have to win emphatically at some point if they want to start reversing not only this half in this map, but just their own economy to start actually settling into some kind of a comeback.
Oh, I tell a lie, Hooksy goes for the M4 as well and a smoke.
That's a really light utility belt for first gun round Inferno.
That's why you have 3 players over there. Hunter's got some things to work with.
Oh, he crossed the molly. He's going to catch him off guard. Nobody's ready for that. Halzer sees and leads, and that's it. Nico is out of the commission. Halzer getting the second. The flash is good, and Hooksy puts 2 on the board to finally gain a little bit of oxygen in what otherwise has been a tough affair on Inferno.
They were a little over-eager, Complexity, to capitalize on that opening pick. Nice counter from Hooksy and Hunter, and good follow-up nade damage as well. So even despite losing Nico early, they seemingly have this round under control. But again, going back to utility, it's light on both teams. But G2 have some options to stall this out. Hunter's got a smoke that he can drop in towards this B choke point.
He has to drop it now. He has to drop it on that information.
It's been spotted
but
from that safe
the
play
last
at
smoke,
Coffins.
do not send the rotation. They actually decide to stay 2-2, but that's the last B smoke.
I don't think you can shift, right? Even if you bring m0NESY over, he's only got a Molotov. I don't think it's worth it for that shift to open up that other side of the map. So boost up inside the B bomb site. JT and Elysian Banana. Floppy waiting at Halls. And JT's going to investigate. 1 kill could cause a shift, but on the boosts, it's Hooksy peeking around the pillar. And now Elysian Floppy have to walk into this bomb site. m0NESY at the back of the site, and Complexity's whittled down. Just Elysian remains to try and get a kill, a plant, 18 seconds. G2 get that strong win right out of the gate that they needed.
And Hooksy picks up Hauser's top, so they get that bit of extra money. And for m0NESY, see the G2 staff. They're the ones who are loud the whole time.
That's who we're hearing right now.
And trying to give the team some energy.
Yeah, whatever you can do to provide it.
Oh, that flash from Hunter was goated.
Whatever you can do to simulate that Cologne crowd as 3 people.
Feels like Ansys, I gotta tell you. If I close my eyes, I can almost.
Yeah, it's basically like it's like being right there here in Malta.
This is really important because if G2 wins this round, without a plan, Complexity might have to eco and give some breathing room to G2 right there. Every round for them has been on edge.
Bombs dropped way, way back at T-spawn for Complexity. Someone's going to have to take a long route to go back and pick that up, but it's not a concern just yet. Grim's, in fact, doing it right now. Takes his eyes off Banana with the smoke halfway up. Complexity at the moment with the leash lining up in left mid to throw out bracket, take utility to show mid presence to this defense.
Hunter is just waiting for an audio cue to chuck in that grenade.
That's pretty ballsy considering they're only 2A and JKS is on his own in bike. Like, he's really banking on that just being a smoke to bait utility, but hey, he's right.
G2 is staying an awful amount of time with 3 players towards the B side without being hungry for information. These are 3 committed CTs without deep info at all. Like, there's a bait and switch setup towards the hay build, that's it.
Well, the timing right now is for Hooksy to set Nico up to get that information peek down Banana. There's the flash pop, there's the peek. And even though he burns a little bit in the Molotov, the information is worth it. And now 2 of them can bail out as m0NESY takes position in Banana with the AWP. The A hit is coming in. Floppy jumps into pit, great pathing, a knockout punch delivered.
I really think they exaggerated a little bit on that stay towards the B side. I mean, I understand, but just get that information 10 to 15 seconds earlier. That was a very long time.
Yeah, that timing was extended, wasn't it?
Whew. It was too ballsy, like too risky to just keep 3 players there and sort of bank on Complexity is going to come back because we're not making a lot of noise. So they might think we're playing passive and then we'll get a bunch of kills. I also never like it when, okay, you have 2 guys on A and then 1 guy is long, the other is pit. So if they do anything together as a group, apps pop, whatever, the round is over. It's not, you know, like it's probably over. So at least then have the 2 players be in some sort of a bait setup, even double balcony, whatever it is. It's hard because then you don't have information on mid. They could sneak up mid, but you can't be strong everywhere at the same time.
I mean, one of the ways that the defense can decide to play that would be to double in apps as well. We see sometimes clear, but that's what Complexity had already taken care of early on. They started with 3 very fast Ts, taking apps control immediately. I even thought that they were going to go immediately out of apps. They weren't. It was just about cleaning house and making sure that their lurk could stay here, and then he would have that forward position that they would use as a trampoline to jump into the A side. So they did all of the pre-work. The homeworks had been handed to the teacher.
Yeah? What's the teacher think so far?
I would say we're in a strong B+ on the side of Complexity.
Okay. Maybe some extra credit can bump that up to an A. Let's find out. Hooksy is dead.
Right there, that's a little bit of a plus point as well. Nico is down, or rather staying alive with 38 HP, avenging his captains.
And now Nico's going to be alone at B. He's got no utility. Doesn't even look like there's any kind of a stockpile set up for him either. So Hunter, he's rotating over, but he doesn't have utility as well.
We haven't said Monacy's name a lot, Jason.
No, we haven't.
With Monacy.
It's been very quiet. So let's check in with him. Op over towards lane. He might get some attention. Nade coming out from left mid is going to give some intel over to Complexity.
This is where Monacy could be a little bit more aggressive. He could slightly push towards lane. He would probably catch Complexity on their way to executing. He's staying on site.
He's free to Elige up in halls as well. JKS is parked deep into the bomb site, so Monacy's actually well exposed, and I don't know if he even realizes it. JT gonna peek in towards spawn. A little bit shows early. Floppy's made it across, and Hunter's going to investigate. This needs to be quick.
Oh, no, he didn't see him.
Ooh, that's not ideal. Monacy handles Floppy, JKS handles Grim and Elige. The timing of that push, just a little bit off.
You remember the conversation you had with Elige about how when he thinks a spray is coming, he's going to have his weapon to the left-hand side. I guarantee you he had the weapon on the left-hand side model here when he peeked out of apps, because he would have seen a CT in front of him, and he didn't.
And he didn't.
Can we get a camera? No, that's too late. That's too late. I'm going to have to give
Can
up
we
on that
check
one.
the keylogger?
I would like to check the camera from behind.
Oh, man. Timeout taken.
He would have seen the player. He would have been in his field of view as he sweeps out of apps. He found the timing that you were mentioning. He could have, not Monacy's teammates, but the JKS could have fallen to Elige.
Yeah, it never, perhaps.
It's right there.
You're
it's right there on the monitor.
You might be. Well done. You get an A+. Noticing the details,
I've been paying attention.
Well, good.
Hey, they got more people now.
Yeah.
You think the more they scream, people are stopping in the street, be like, "What's going on?
Yeah.
Let's go have a look."
Well, 3-round lead now just for Complexity. Out of money essentially after this buy as well. This is a huge round for G2. If they can break them here, the road gets a little bit easier.
And I do think they need a little bit more out of Monacy in terms of, I think you can tell that he is a bit more, he's been stymied by the slow game, right?
Yeah.
If he's feeling it, if he has a better game, I think he goes for those searches on short and also on B. I mean, that he was on top banana there, and it's kind of bad if you tell him, hey, push now, peek now. He sort of has to call it for himself.
It doesn't seem like there's been a whole lot of AWP presence on the map. Even if it's not the kills, just like the presence of an AWP being in a position hasn't really dictated a whole lot.
But he still now has a bit of a deeper pull towards mid, and Hooksy has regained control. So it feels like G2 now is grabbing a bit more real estate, putting themselves in a better position so they can predict and see coming what Complexity is about to throw at them. They leave Nico alone.
They also did a good job of smoking mid as they're making the play on B to buy time, and now there's 4 players on A.
Oh, Hunter's gone down. Reverse spam.
It's onto Nico.
Yeah,
Nico's
but
gonna be tested.
with that Hunter kill, you might not expect for there to be his 3rd player still at the A bomb site due to this shift and due to the fact that Nico hasn't felt any pressure. And that smoke deep banana might delay it a little bit longer. Actually, Complexity is going to pop right through it. Here comes the flashbang. Here comes the swing. Nico's blinded. Wants at least one fight, but thinks better of it. Drops back because he's got no Molotov. He's got no smoke, and this hit is not slowing down.
And Hooksy has no flash. Nico's going to get no backup. It's all on his own, and JT put him down with a Galil. 1 for 1 through the smoke. Monacy is going to flash his captain through, and it's got a whole lot of work to do, but that's not going to be enough.
Do you risk the AWP?
That's over.
Do you risk the AWP?
It's over.
Smokes are still down. JKS is still here to help out. Monacy's pretty committed in towards construction, and he's going to have to back away now before this smoke clears. Got to be cautious of up on top of the box, but regardless, Complexity's going to be sitting at 14 rounds, 2 rounds away from closing out this series.
Where do we stand on Nico using the smoke towards down banana? Because I know there's 2 school of thoughts when you're in his position. You either smoke down banana and then you hope that you slow down the take so that your rotation is going to be here on time, or you grab information, you rotate back, and then you use that smoke as you've already pulled away a couple meters. I feel like here that smoke invited Complexity to cross it, and this is why he ended up being very much naked when the execute came to him.
Yeah, I mean, I think my opinion would be tainted after seeing exactly what happened.
Hindsight is mostly great.
But I think I can tell what side of the school you're on in that philosophy.
And the problem is also in that moment, right? What is the information that he has? Are they trying to push towards A? Do they have mid? If they do, if they're not really close, then they're not in position to push through that smoke immediately, and he can buy some time, put himself in a better position. But in this sort of a situation, yeah, probably better to just save it. I think it's impossible, like with hindsight.
I know. It's also unfortunate that Hooksy didn't have any util. That's the second time you were mentioning. I
mentioned
think
the first
on.
half with complexity. Yeah, someone coming
that was
over.
the one. There was no flash being ready. If Nico here has a flash above his head as he peeks from first box, that's already a much more comfortable position to be in. But he was on his lonesome.
Yeah. And he felt the hit coming in. Didn't have a whole lot of time to pick a position to fight from either.
And that's good from complexity as well.
Yeah.
Like, to be able to realize
hit that pace
live that you actually have an opening, you actually have a timing that you need to seize, and you need to play fast. They were fighting against the clock, and they beat it right to the punch.
Let's see what G2's got for us. This time it's basically it's a two-man start at the B bomb site. Hooksy just went back to replenish some utility. But they get aggressive in halls. Hunter's clearing out alt mid for the moment. Peeks down, sees nothing. Monacy still with the op is peering down hall's stairs. And Complexity very convinced right out of the gate that they want to march up banana for an execute. Plenty of utility this time for G2.
Are they going to respect it? When this happened in the first half, we saw Nico a couple of times ahead of that barrage of utility. That's not the case here. Nico is firmly behind the haystack, and he's waiting for that little bit of a peek, and there is a flash in hand of Hooksy, so it's all going to be on to Nico.
Yeah, but surely he doesn't get to use it by the time he realizes, oh yeah, it's perfect. Nice anti-flash from Grim though. Negates it. Only one for Nico, and Hooksy gets away without taking any damage, but he's got to dump nades. He's got to dump everything he's got, and he crosses over to a new position. That's bold.
What a man.
That's risky, but it's going to allow him to get boosted up by Monacy, so he's got a little bit of life in this defense. Up over the top, they won't expect it. They saw him go into the bomb site, and Grim still unawares, Elige unawares, and he can't turn in time. SMG gets two. Hooksy delivers and buys time for his teammates. 3 on 2, and the bomb just now planted. That smoke should delay things. Should hold G2 back. They play at the 2 boxes in the corner. New box and Emo. Flashbang to activate. Op of Monacy. We've said it's been quiet. This would be a good time to hear it speak up, and it gets the first. Floppy. Oh, 2 stellar headshots. And Monacy doesn't have a lot of time. Kit in hand. Here comes the peak. Shot is baited out. Floppy! 1v3 puts Complexity on the verge of a skipped round in the playoffs.
This is what we like to see. He absolutely analyzed these angles the way that was needed to. He knew exactly when to be aggressive, when to pull back just a little bit, and you have that jiggle on the AWP at the end, which is ever so annoying. Oh lordy, you'd think G2 had done exactly what they needed to. Monacy was holding the line towards quad. He finds that peak coming in, putting them in a 3 versus 1 position, and here Hunter is a little bit ahead of the pack. No one is in a position to trade him, and Monacy gets danced around.
Floppy's having himself an event.
We put him in the pros. I see the quad from here. We put him in the pros for complexity, and he is delivering.
We put him there for a reason. This is fantastic. He demolished Cloud9 in their series, and he is picking G2 apart when he has the opportunity here.
And Hooksy had done so much.
Yeah.
Hooksy had done so much in that position. Also, if you ask me, completely crazy moves that he decided to cross from side to CT spawn with no utility whatsoever. He gets boosted by Monacy, becomes invisible, grabs 2 kills with the MP9. This should have been enough.
A 1. Uh-oh. Nico gets out with 20. Unconfirmed damage. But that softens him up so much for later on in the round. Elige surely clears this hard corner.
Yeah, but there's 2 CTs. Are you ready?
Yeah,
for the
will he be
second
ready
one?
for the pop from the other player? Yeah, well, he gets the first. Not ready for Monacy stepping in. Swaps out to the AK-47. JT has him trapped in, and Monacy doesn't want that fight. Backs off. Plays for the late round.
Excellent information gathering from Monacy. He could have been baited into fighting, but he stays alive, and he maintains the AK in the ranks. That's the second and only... or second rifles, rather, that G2 has to play with. He adds another one to the tally. This is a beautiful round for Monacy. Well, maybe we get one after 25.
That's kind of what we talked about wanting to see with him with the op, right? Getting aggressive down lane towards Boiler and JT. Oh, it's all in timing, and you don't have it. Hunter drops you. Grim and Hulzerk aren't ready to pounce, aren't ready to take any kind of advantage, but it's over to the B bomb site. No shift yet from the G2 defense.
You have Hooksy there only with a deagle.
A deagle and 2 flashes.
There's still a chance for complexity for this round.
Yeah, there really is. There's a smoke on Grim as well to drop it in towards CT spawn. They're just going to do it on the fly.
Is he going to flash for himself? with no one else.
They don't want to give away the game quite yet. That's all I can think of. Nice flash. Can't complete the kill, but that will pull Hunter over. But Holzerk and Grim just choose to save. 13 seconds. They don't want to mess with it. They don't know what's coming. And Nico might shut this down. And this is the money. Oh, they need these two guns to survive, and Holzerk's not going to be able to do it. Free up for G2. And 11 rounds. One last chance for G2. They hold on with desperate weapons.
When there's a will, there is a way. Elige had done what he needed against JKS, but Monacy really played this round to perfection. I am going to pile on that point once again. Yes, he's not having a great game, he's not having a great map, but right here, he saves G2. He puts them in that position. He grabs the trade onto Elige, and then he doesn't overpeak. He jiggles towards lane, he finds the information, and then he goes on through a second kill with the AK-47. Beautiful work. Now he changes the pace. That's an AK, or an AWP rather, in apps. And surely, Jason, surely these pistols present no risk, no danger whatsoever.
Surely not.
Surely not.
I can't see a world. I can't envision a future in which it happens. Hello? Oh my lord, timing.
Surely not.
This would be a way to lose. That's a great nade on a floppy, though. He's going to have to go passive. He'll probably hand off that deagle, you'd imagine, over to Holzerk, because he don't have the HP to use it.
They have no Kevlar.
G2 has had a couple of opportunities to sort of start coming back into this game, but
what scares me the most is Monacy's alone in the site with just the op. Nico steps out of library to help him out, but he could have gotten overrun, and now it's
okay.
It's nice and easy.
He's all right.
It's not nice and easy, but
let's not exaggerate.
A little bit nice, a little bit not so easy. But yeah, it's the first time the Complexity won the force buy with an apps pop. Then you had the floppy 1v3. I mean, G2 had a couple of opportunities which they missed. They can't afford to miss anymore.
All of the rounds.
Yeah, they need to convert all 3 rounds just to get the game into overtime.
Ooh, nice shoot.
Now watch Monacy end up with 22 kills as we push to overtime. Just off the back of that round with the AK-47. That was the spark that needed the ignition.
Okay, that's over 2 kills per round. So let's see how he does in this one. Peering down Banana, but nobody from Complexity showing anything. A barrage of utility to keep G2 safe, to park Monacy in this position. They've left him with the smoke Molotov to play however he wants with the op. They're going to stack this A bomb site with 4 players.
And a trait of great team is that they're hard to put away. We've seen that how hard it is to do that to VP, and now this is G2's opportunity to prove their mettle.
Oh, Flashbang gives a lot of intel. Molotov dump as well. Hooksy's in front of the smoke on Rap side. 2 playing under and on top of the balcony. Another Flashbang. No one looks left. No one looks left and makes it easy. G2 sets up the trap and it springs perfectly.
How many big rounds have we seen G2 win with this setup on Inferno?
Feels like I've just witnessed how a sausage is actually made. It's exactly how it felt like.
Into the meat grinder? Yeah.
Or one of these, what is it, hydraulic press? I can scramble anything.
Crush anything you need.
There we go. Well, that was not a very nice sound, but
it wasn't the greatest.
I know. It wasn't my best work.
I think Grim should go and die here. He should not save a Galil.
Yeah, with $100
because the rest of his team is going to be on pistols next round. He'll have a saved Galil, and then if they don't win the round, he'll have only the loss bonus for the 30th round. So he'll have to play with an SMG or swap with someone.
9, yeah.
So there's not really value in this save. I mean, unless he's sick with the Galil and he's going to make something happen in this next round.
Well, let's find out. I'm down to investigate. Floppy's got 28 kills. He leads the server.
Dang.
He's the only player in the 20s.
And we'll see now. Basically, it comes down to one more gun round for Complexity to close it out, to take G2's map pick, to beat them 2-0 and book themselves a spot in the quarterfinals. But they're not there yet.
Final timeout for Complexity. They realize the intensity of the situation. G2 without timeouts as well. Doth my eyes deceive me? Elige has bought Armor Tech 9, so they're going for a little bit of a half buy with the losing bonus where it is at $2,900.
I don't think G2 is going to play with the same one AWP banana setup anymore. I think that was the right moment to use it. They've punished Complexity for it. So if you're Complexity, is this the moment where you strike the A side again? There is some element of mind game to it. When you have been spanked so hard on your attempt to play the A side, this could just be the moment to do it again.
To do it again. Let's see, do it one
Lo and
more
behold.
time. Yeah, Triple B, Monacy is there. We'll see if they do something similar. Hunter's playing close to mid, listening to see if there's going to be a fast play. Monacy smoked off, and JT saves that smoke as best he can. A little bit of damage, but there's not a whole lot of utility or trickery in this round for Complexity. They don't have the flashbangs and the nades to work around the map. Leaving a smoke at bench. And gonna try and give Grim the space to work this Galil.
G2 is doing the same questionable decision we've talked about, which is to only leave 2 CTs on A with no deep information. But this time, as Yanko wanted, you have a double pit setup, so it's not a 1-to-1.
And you have an earlier flash clear as well at B, right?
Oh, but look, they're taking the counter side of it.
Yeah, JT just heard that. He heard that and he's calling the voice back to
900 IQ call from Complexity. Heard the flash pop into information. Monacy is going to be now alone with the AWP. He's got a little backup behind, but he grabs JT on the fly, stays alive. Beautiful work. And no speed being picked up by Complexity whatsoever. The rotation is already here.
No, that Galil still hasn't been put into play. Galil still hasn't gone for anything, so just a dry peek around the half wall, and now G2 is back, and they say, you know, we're not going to cheat another player over towards A. We're going to keep Nico at this B bomb site. They're coming through. Nico can't get away, but he stands his ground for 2. Monacy adds another pair, and G2 1 round away from overtime.
Can you feel it? Coming in the air tonight. Overtime. Yeah, I just gotta workshop that one.
All right,
Just make it context. Also to avoid any copyright strike or anything.
Sure.
I don't really know what's the rule on that, so I'm gonna be careful. Round 30 now, everything is on the line, and Grim, as you pointed out, is playing with the MAC-10.
Yes, indeed, and he's the banana player, so maybe they have to call a faster banana take, something along those lines. Probably just going to lead the way in the end when it does come down to execute some ending to the round. Let's see. Didn't really do much with the Galil.
No, not at all. I don't even know if he fired a shot.
I have my eyes on Monacy this time.
He's aggressive.
He's got enough kills now to be a little bit more aggressive and take the risk that we wanted him to take. So don't go back now that we're talking about it.
He needs an ace if he wants to get to the 22 that you called.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Floppy and Grim and Hulls. JKS up on the balcony to defend. If he goes down, Monacy is fair game, exposed in the bomb site until Hunter just now shifts over. Deep flash. Oh, and that information, the fire from Floppy. The MAC-10 rattles off a couple of shots. They know there's players close at the end of Hulls. And this is pulling Hooksy back. It's slow and measured. Monacy down low. Retreats deeper into the site. JT's going to go for it. Oh, Monacy gets away, but he's found eventually. JKS doubles up in pit, and Hooksy pounces as well. And it's falling apart until the transfer. The taps aren't there, and Hooksy ends it. Overtime is found, and G2 fights on.
Holy hell, that round was close. It's all about the details, the flashing abs, the fire from Floppy. That causes some extra utility from G2 to come down. That causes Hooksy to start going towards CT spawn, and he's there just in time.
Oh my lord. It's a battle the whole way, and if any of those taps connect from Grim running out of ammo, and he had to really be conservative with it, it doesn't pan out. 15s.
And this is with a newly found momentum that G2 enters the overtime, and Monacy, we've been talking about him, he puts finally an opening kill on the board. And you have to feel like the wind has just been taken off the sails of Complexity. Such a hurtful way to be pushed back into the overtime corner.
They lost, what, the last 3-4 rounds of regulation in that comeback for G2?
Out of nowhere. So now, how do you come back into this 4v5? You still have some banana control. G2 have elected to leave m0NESY alone, but he's got smoke and Molotov to play with. So unless he's being caught off guard, he's going to be fine to gain enough time for his rotation to join him.
This G2 team has gotten into a bit of a rhythm on this CT side. They're starting to show multiple different looks and different defenses. Oh, missed shot. Holzerk falls asleep at the wheel. HooXi hits a timing where he can cross in towards Cubby. And then backs away.
That was a chance, and you missed it.
A little bit of misdirection, perhaps. No Molotov for Complexity to clear it out regardless. They've got 2 smokes and a flashbang. They are burning utility, just trying to stay safe, and they haven't even gained a whole lot of map control. 23 seconds on the clock as contact is made, and JT's going to creep up. Flashbang comes out, easy fight for Nico, and there's nothing in this for Complexity. There's no strength to this hit, and it's just falling apart flaccidly, floppily. As JKS gets another and Floppy cannot exit halls, it's 16-15 for G2.
And now it feels easy for G2. This round on his own.
It was 5 in a row, actually, to force overtime.
It was 5. I thought it was
5 straight.
5 in a row for G2. And as you said, there's no punching power. There's no intention in that take from Complexity. The team play as well on display from G2. The flash coming in from side allows Nico to go very relaxingly into this duel. But he's even the 4th player.
Complexity's first moves are getting stalled out really well by G2 all of a sudden in this streak and in overtime, where previously they'd been able to get a few things. They've been able to get some space, get some opening kills. They're not finding anything now. m0NESY, another opening just like last round, and once again Complexity is going to have to play 4v5.
Maybe a faster reaction this time around from Complexity.
Got to do something different, right? Got to change something up to try and recover.
Molotov down from HooXi, giving enough time to Nico to join the defense. And once again, it's a pristine read from the defense. They know exactly what's going on. HooXi dares to play on his own flash towards middle, and that's a 5 versus 3 now. Floppy feels like he didn't really have much to say in this round, and his timing is non-existent. There's no way you can peek out of apps currently. You have to wait for any teammate of yours to allow you to give you some sort of an opportunity, and this is just provided by JT.
He needs one more, though, and he needs to do it on Nico.
Comes.
Yeah, oh, off angle. He knew it was coming, but he's down at 8 HP. Nico's forced back a little bit, but still Floppy and Holzerk haven't moved. There's utility for a hit, for a set piece coming up lane. It's going to be so difficult. Crossfire set up in the pit inside the site, and that smoke gives JKS some room to work with. JT's aware. Watching for that creep around the smoke. Good kill. Opening kill for Hunter inside the site. Holzerk does land it eventually. But JKS goes down, and an opportunity. The smallest window for Holzerk. Low HP, cannot transfer. Nico's way too close. And 17 now for G2.
Hazard's also been a little bit quiet. I thought this was going to be when he pops off and has a round and helps his team, but not to be. And yeah, Complexity just stifled early on. No answer for m0NESY and some of these early picks towards B. I don't know, you know, what you can do and try to use more HEs at the start to really just blow him up and kill him with utility if you think he's going to go for it again.
Ooh.
Do you try and bust out a pace change at this point if you're Complexity? They've been getting stalled out.
It's tough to do when you're losing 6-7 rounds in a row. It's really tough to do. And I think m0NESY being a little bit more out there and proactive is not something they were used to in the rhythm of this game. We've been talking about how passive he was and how there were moments where he could be a little bit more activated. Now he changed. He shifted the whole paradigm, as we love to say, by being a bit more aggressive on the B side with the AWP. The solution hasn't been found, and it's now becoming a phantom menace. Is he on the B side again, or is he going to be long waiting for me? Is he absent? In fact, HooXi is saying, listen, whatever is working, we're not going to fix it. You stay on the B side. I'll be right there with you, my man, and the rifles. You do your work on the A side.
Yeah, this AWP has really changed the nature of the B defense, just even by presence, even just by intimidation of the opening kills. Complexity.
But now is the time for Complexity to go. You hear the retake nades on B. It's very low chance that there's only one player faking that. Just go. Just try to use the timing.
Well, they listened to you, and they got dropped through smoke. Nico grabs a headshot. Double up on all. If they don't get a kill,
this
is so dangerous. Oh, they got so stuck. So stuck. That's exactly what Complexity needed. They did hit the timing, as you said, Yanko, and now they've got themselves a plant inside the site, and a very difficult retake as HooXi is brought down to 42. They have to go for it. Last round of this CT half of OT. And they need a gift. They need a gift. They need someone from Complexity to peek ill-advised.
Also, it's going to be mollied out. It's getting a little uncomfortable, but he can play off the box. Do not fall into the fire. You're blind, but it's still burning. He's waiting for that peak. Finds Hooksy, and that should be it for Complexity, who finally break that string of rounds from G2, and all off the back of a great timing found on A. And we have to commend the flash works being put out by Complexity. It saved them in a couple of different situations here.
Yeah, I don't even know what the protocol would be when you're playing double balk. Someone, it feels like, needs to drop if you get that blind, but just doubled up is a nice, easy way to crack open the bomb site. And you're right. It took Complexity 8 rounds. They stopped the streak at 7.
So just to be a little bit detail-oriented here, the reason this setup falls apart is because Nico is flashed and he pulls back. Whenever his first opponent sees him as floppy in that scenario, he sees the other one. You have to be a little bit more out there so that your teammate becomes
so you
invisible.
Have the angle, yeah.
But they were a bit bunched up because of the flashes and the good work. And that's why Floppy finds 2 huge entries.
Back to the defense for Complexity.
If anything, G2 had a good time in the gun rounds. Once they consolidated after the early start, that was all. They were only winning gun rounds in the first half. And it's been a while since Complexity played CT side. That's also strange a little bit when you come into overtime.
Here it comes.
Oh, they're both blind as well at sandbags, but this, oh, what a transfer back from Nico. Get out. He controls Banana. Monacy's gone down. Can JT really defend this? They spam through. He doesn't take a whole lot, doesn't take any damage, and he does manage to cross over to look through the crack, but this pulls Halzerk on rotation.
But he should send Halzerk back. If you're JT at this point, you have to make a decision. You have to take a risk. He's putting the rotation to him. This creates a huge vacuum, a huge gap towards A-Long. That's not being utilized by G2 quite yet. But Floppy, even though he's been pristine this entire game, is completely alone. Luckily for him, G2 elects for a different decision, different direction, and it's actually going to be right into the stack of Complexity.
Halzerk takes a shot, drops a Molotov, might make things a little bit easier for JT. This rides on this.
It's in the star.
Yeah, here comes the utility. They know they're in the right place. Halzerk, oh, he grabs it just before the smoke plumes. There's the Molotov drop, and JT up above on the boxes. Oh, he can't find Hunter. That had to be a must-win battle. And what do you do if you're Halzerk? There's 13 seconds. P250 is out. Surely you're not able to spam that kill. Blind shot doesn't work. Scoped up another one. Hunter creeps closer, and they've got a double stack, and Alper can't handle this. That's the round. G2 is going to have 2 map points. Complexity already had 5, so it's fair game. Can they pull things back?
You really feel like JT had it. JT had the kill on that position. He could have stayed alive.
What tells you the better story of Inferno than the overtime rounds? Like, look at the difference from G2 managing to find the opening in Banana on the CT side and deny Banana for the Ts compared to, you know, Nico here with the double entry and G2 managing to win the trade in Banana. It just makes the rounds so much more difficult if you don't have it on one side, and obviously easier when you do.
Complexity now is throwing caution to the wind. 3 players very committed, and Grim just one-hit himself, and this could have just been it. He could have sent the map away. 3v4, Halzerk is going to try to save the honor of his teammate, but that one is probably already gone.
Look at the leash.
Oh, it's all gone apart. I can't look. Jason, tell me what's happening. My eyes are closed.
It's, as the kids say, it's Chover.
Did they hit each other with the incendiary and then it dropped
I
close?
guess,
or?
but that's like 100-0 self-Molotov.
Is that 100-0?
It felt like it.
No, there was an assist from
There must have
one
been-
of
there
the
must have been
Ts.
some damage.
An HE, I think, to slow them down or something.
Oh my god, what a way to lose a map.
I'm devastated.
What a way to lose a map. Gonna give it one last go. You kind of have to. Nade is out. Floppy's going to activate, gets 1, 3 more to find, and not enough time on the bomb timer. There are kits in play, but there goes another. Halzerk is down. Floppy with 33 kills, and what should be a loss, but he almost pulls it back. Floppy almost makes it work, but the story is G2's resilience, comeback and recovery on Inferno. We're going to 3. We're going to Ancient, a beautiful place to end it. We'll see you there.